Wake up, Tony. Don't you have a show to do?
Oh, jeez. I'm up.
So you met someone who set you back on your heels. Goody, goody. You met someone and now you know how it feels. Goody, goody. You gave her your heart too, just as I gave mine to you. Oh, then she broke it in little pieces. Now how do you do? Oh, you lie awake just singing the blues all night. Goody, goody. You think that love is a barrel of dynamite. Well, hooray and hallelujah, you had it coming to ya. Goody, goody for her, goody, goody for me. And I hope you're satisfied, you rascal, you. You met someone and now you know how it feels. Goody, goody. You gave her your heart too, just as I gave mine to you. Well, then she broke it in little pieces. Now how do you do? Oh, you lie awake just singing the blues all night. Goody, goody. You think that love is a barrel of dynamite. Well, hooray and hallelujah, you had it coming to ya. Goody, goody for her, goody, goody for me. And I hope you're satisfied, you rascal, you. Oh, I hope you're satisfied, you rascal, you.
A very emotional moment for me. When I sold Steamers, I had figured this was the end of Steamers.
The day that I found out that Steamers is coming back and at this amazing place, Campus JAX, I was like the best Christmas gift.
When Terence Love from Steamers and JAX kind of combined to create these Steamers Jazz Nights, it just seemed like the most perfect thing to have happen. The whole musical community here is excited about that.
Seeing, wow, what a lovely place. It's got beautiful sound, light, video, everything, and the food was fabulous. And they were doing the thing right.
One of the things that I love most about Steamers and then now at Campus JAX is when the sound system and the stage is so beautiful. The best musicians in the world want to play there. And I was able to call guys that I never dreamt of playing, that would get so excited. And now it's the same thing. I talk to musicians and I go, hey, you want to come down and play with me at Campus JAX? Campus JAX, yes.
Well, I've been all over the world and I've seen a lot of different musical environments. The talent here is so off the charts. I mean, it's hard for people that aren't from here to understand how good here is, how good the musicians are here, how good everybody. I mean, it's like all the people that I have on stage with me coming up are just so talented. It's ridiculous, the talent pool that we have to draw from here.
Only the best musicians, all the time. So one of the things I want to do is present the music in the greatest way. I want the musicians to feel welcome. I want them to feel at home. I want them to feel like they're just not background music.
Here at Campus JAX, we have a love of the music, the audience. The team here has just made so many efforts to not only bring the musicians and the audience together like Terence was doing for so long, but to do it at a really high quality. I've been doing clubs for, again, more years than I care to count, and this is a very rare example of how a music venue can run and be set up. And I feel nothing but care is given to what we're trying to present here and how we're trying to present it.
Now we've been doing this for months and it's worked out fantastic. I see a great future ahead.
From what I know about Terence, he did it because he loves the music.
And everybody responds to it because you have that atmosphere. And it really is recapturing that magic. There's an electricity. You know something special is happening and you're a part of it. And that's what I loved walking into Steamers all those years ago. And that's what I love about walking into Campus JAX.
I love Terence Love, and I'm so excited that he's a part of the team here at Campus JAX.
Steamers Jazz is back, and it's at Campus JAX.
Steamers Jazz at JAX. Tony Guerrero, how you doing, my friend? This is week number 24.
I believe it's week number 24. How are 24. You, Terence?
Oh man, I'm doing
25. 25.
Maybe it's 25. I know I'm doing really well, and I'm real excited about your band being here next Thursday. Oh,
no, you're not.
Shoot.
No, you're not.
Shoot, I'm gonna be up, in the mountains of Oregon. Wow. Well, no, I truly am. But we got a lot of big things going on at Steamers Jazz at Jazzland JAX. Upcoming, I want to tell you, your band's going to be here. We talked about it. But tonight we have Nina Herzog and Nick Mancini, two great artists. Really excited about them both. I've not met Nina yet, but I'm looking forward to it. And last Thursday's Steamers Jazz at Jazz Artist Showcase was incredible. It
was so good.
Leah Booth killing it, doing her tribute to Peggy Lee, man.
Yeah.
She
was great. The band was great, and what a remarkable guitar player. And I have to admit that she has raved about him, and I've heard him before, but I never like where I was just kind of paying attention. And man, he's a great player, Miles, on guitar. So.
Yeah, and I guess he transposed or transcribed all those things for Peggy Lee. Wow. Yeah, it was really, really special night. And, for some reason, it was just a tad bit cooler. The sunset coming down. It was beautiful outside. The place was full but separated, for the social distancing. The sound, if you guys have not come to Campus JAX to hear a band, come anytime but next Thursday, because you got to hear the sound. No. No, please come this next Thursday. Here, Tony, and he's got his West Coast sound band with him.
Which we'll talk about that tonight a little bit.
Yeah, you talk a little bit about that. And let's see. Also, I do want to make a special thing. By the way, if you want to see Tony's band, go to campusjax.com to get your tickets. We have seats they go, I don't know, the price $15 to $30 or something like that. And wherever you're sitting, but we have seats for singles, couples, and a party, whatever you want to do, but get them in advance because we do limit the amount. But upcoming Friday, September 18th is our first Steamers Jazz at JAX special feature Friday night jazz. And we've got
we haven't done a Friday night yet.
Not yet, man. We're moving on up, Tony, huh? Can you believe that stuff? We got 6-time Grammy winner Gordon Goodwin, and he's bringing his little fat band, to be on the Sunset stage at Campus JAX. And no less than the most stellar, top-rate, first-call band players. Wayne Bergeron on trumpet, Francisco Torres on trombone, Will Brahm on guitar, Kevin Axe bass, Ray Brinker on drums, Joey DeLeon on percussion, Brian Scanlon on sax, Gordon Goodwin on piano, and of course Vanjie Gunn on vocals. So
that's an amazing band.
Oh my God. It's coming up there to the level of Tony and his friends, big man.
Well, here's the deal. If you buy a ticket to my show, you get into that one free. No, that's not true.
Yeah. Also, I want to remind you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the tickets to my show are $500 though. So
$500. Okay, okay, and that's just in the nosebleed, right?
Yeah, that's in the back.
Anyway, I do want to tell you that this being the 25th thing that we've done since this whole lockdown occurred, there's a lot of work you don't see that's going on in the background. Tim Ellis doing the all of the mixing and all that stuff, and Golden and John with the video and all of, we could use a little help, and there's a way you can help donate to that. Go to steamersjax.com and put a little something in the tip jar, and it'll help us continue doing these things. So, Tony, what's next on the agenda here? We're gonna have like a little video.
I'm gonna guess what's next because I forgot to print out my little sheet that Tim prepares for us. So I'm flying by the seat of my pants until our break, and then I can print it out. But I believe it's going to be a video of Nina.
Yes.
And then an introduction of Nina, and then we're going to actually have Nina here live. Am I right?
And I believe it may be close to you also.
Ooh, look at that.
Maybe not.
I'm an old show business pro, Terence. I know how these things go. All right, so let's watch a little bit of Nina Herzog with Close to You, and then we're going to have her here with us in just a moment.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you. Stars fall down from the sky every time you walk by. Just like me, they long to be close to you. The day that you were born, the angels got together and decided to create a dream come true. So they sprinkled moon dust in your hair of gold and starlight in your eyes of blue. That is why all the girls in town were born, the angels got together and decided to create a dream come true. So they sprinkled moon dust in your hair of gold and starlight in your eyes of blue. That is why all the girls in town follow you all around. Just like me, they long to be close to you. Just like me, they long to be close to you.
Nina Herzog is a product of the esteemed Orange County School for the Arts, where she studied voice, acting, theatrical writing, and dance. During her tenure there, she won the National Youth Theater Award and was awarded Star of the Future Awards from both the Orange County Performing Arts Center and the South Coast Symphony Vocal Competition. She went on to perform symphony concerts with the late Marvin Hamlish, the National Symphony, and the Wolf Trap Foundation for the Arts. She continued her studies at UCLA and began doing session work in Los Angeles before being invited by Grammy, Emmy, and Academy Award-nominated composer Patrick Williams to collaborate on a concert filmed by the Emmy Award-winning director Roger Young. Recently, she recorded both the singing and speaking voice of Odette, the title character in The Swan Princess, for Sony Animation. Nina is also a volunteer music teacher for autistic students, an active arts education activist, and has spoken at charity events on the profound impact arts education had on her own ability to overcome and transcend tragedy as a child. As a result of her efforts, Nina was featured as a young humanitarian in the book On Purpose by Sherry Jeffries. Please welcome Nina Herzog to Steamers Jazz at JAX.
We're back. And
Wow.
welcome Nina to our little show here.
Thank you. Thanks for
Welcome,
having me.
Nina. How you doing?
It's good to see you.
Great.
Good to see you too.
That was a beautiful performance, both of those on there. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Terence, I've
Well,
only
tell us
known
about
Nina a short time. We met, I believe you came out to see my band once, and then you came a second time, and it was a situation where I could invite you to sit in, and I was instantly blown away. And then we got together, wrote a little bit, and we had a big show planned for the Festival of Arts this summer that we were going to do, and have her pay tribute to Barbra Streisand, Judy Garland, and Linda Ronstadt all in one night, and that got canceled. Wow. So we're not able to do that, but at least we have this moment, and then we'll do that another time soon. So
fantastic.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah. So how are you doing through all this craziness?
It's been definitely crazy, but I'm focusing a lot on writing and getting better at recording. I'll be releasing music soon on Spotify and all the socials. So yeah, that's something I've been kind of honing in on, and then just taking the opportunity to learn how to be better at doing all this technology stuff, that's
so good. I've said this a few times as we've talked to people here, but this quarantine is such a great opportunity to learn new things.
Yeah.
And I know some people who have really embraced that. Like, in fact, Leah last week was on, and she didn't play ukulele before, and she pulled it out and played a tune. And I was saying, I told her I expected like maybe, she'd probably learned a couple of chords. Like, she was all over that thing.
Yeah.
And, and I just think that's so great to use this time to learn all the things that we wanted to learn and didn't have time for. So that's great that you're doing that. I'm glad you're going to be releasing some music too.
Surprisingly enough, with what this is our 25th thing that we've done on Sundays, there hasn't been one musician that said, you know what, I'm just eating Cheetos and watching TV. Every single one of them has talked about creating new ideas, learning how to record, learning how to write, focusing, doing some kind of thing to perfect the art. You know, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And I do eat a lot of Cheetos still.
But there still is just nothing like live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nina, tell us who you have with you back there, because we see the good and evil angels on your shoulders.
I have Balam Garcia on guitar.
Hello, Balam.
Jack Lipson.
And Jack what?
And Jack Lipson on piano.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to hearing something.
Tell me what you were working on before this hit. I know we were working on putting our thing together for that one night, but you know what's on hold for you right now?
Well, I was in the middle of auditioning for different tours, so obviously that's not happening. And then part of my album that I'll be releasing, I was hoping to do some live shows along the way, so maybe some of that will be streamed now. And then, just all the live stuff isn't happening. And, but I have been recording a lot and kind of focusing on having even more of that coming. So,
And before we have you perform something, can you tell us a little bit about the video we just saw? Because that orchestra was Patrick Williams, who's just, a legendary figure.
Yeah.
And what a great thing to be able to work with him. Can you tell us a little bit about how that came to be?
Sure. Yeah, I met Patrick Williams when I finished school at UCLA. I've done a lot of session singing, and I met him. I went in to sing with a big band on a track on a musical he was working on, actually. And then after the session, he pulled me aside and was like, "What's your plan?" And I said, "Well, I think I'm going to move to New York." And he's like, "How about you don't, and you stay in LA and let's get in the studio and record some music." And so he did several arrangements for my voice. And then I actually wrote a song too, that he did an arrangement for the symphony, which was really fun.
Wow.
And it was in Orange County, so near to you guys. And we got some good footage of it too, which I'm grateful for.
Now, I've never asked you where you're from, because you went to Orange County Performing Arts School.
I did. I went to OSHA.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But I took the train, actually. I was born in Los Angeles, but we moved up to the mountains, Oak Glen, and then we lived in Loma Linda. So I did go to high school in Orange County, but I was a commuter.
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I have one question. I have one question that's a little bit odd, and you mentioned how you kind of just happened into that gig there, and I know a lot of people have, when all these gigs got canceled and everything was put off to the side. I don't know if you're represented by an agent or you doing just this thing on your own. Did you just happen to walk into that? And I was wondering, what do people that are managed or have agents or whatever, what are those guys doing? Are they firing them? Are people finding new ones? Have you dealt with any of this stuff?
I actually am in the process of wanting to expand my team. I feel like now is a really good time to have even more people that just have a feel on how things are transitioning. I so would love for everything to go back in some ways musically to how things were, but I actually think there's a lot of possibility now. And I'm trying to remain optimistic and kind of align myself with people who have a pulse on where the music business is shifting now. I wouldn't say this is a good time to fire a manager. I would say that most of the people are kind of just adjusting. There's lots of auditioning happening digitally and performances happening digitally too, I guess, like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then let's get into that. Can we ask you to play a tune or two for us? Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a tune. Speaking of being optimistic.
What?
There you go.
1, 2, 3.
Taking stock of what I have and what I haven't. What do I find? The things I have will keep me satisfied. Checking up on what I have. diamond, got no pearl. Still I think I'm a lucky girl. I got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. Got no checkbooks, got no banks. Still I'd like to express my thanks. I got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. Sunshine gives me a lovely day. Moonlight gives me the Milky Way. Got no checkbooks, got no banks. Still I'd like to express my thanks. I got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. And with the sun in the morning and the moon in the evening, I'm alright. Jack Lipson on piano, Long Garcia guitar. Sunshine gives me a lovely day. Moonlight gives me the Milky Way. I got no butler, got no maid. Still I feel I've been overpaid. I got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. And with the sun in the morning and the moon in the evening, I'm alright.
Very nice.
Oh, that was great. Hey, I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this about Nina. The first time I heard her sing, I believe when you sat in, you suggested Stormy Weather maybe, and you know the truth is that's one of those tunes that can be overdone, and a lot of singers do it, and so musicians generally, there's some songs that we're not always excited to do, like Summertime, or because they get done a lot, but man, you delivered that song that night. And that's one of the things about you that I think is so special is that you're also an actress. So when you sing a lyric, you're expressing that lyric. And a lot of singers, I hate to say this, but a lot of singers miss that. And there's only a few that I see really have a connection to the lyric they're singing on a regular basis. Actually, Chris Williams is one that I think really knows how to deliver a lyric and really digs into those. But you definitely have that, and I so appreciate that about you. But even just now on a fun, happy tune like that, I can just totally see that. In fact, I think singers really should take acting lessons. So,
well, and it's not coming across as animated. It's like you can really tell that you're feeling the lyrics and the song and the beat and all that stuff.
And that's what makes singers like Sinatra and Nina Simone and so many of those singers so special, is they really delivered the lyric. They didn't just sing the melody and Anyways, I ramble on and on. You got another tune for us? You guys sound great in the back, by the way.
Yeah.
Great.
Now that you mentioned Stormy Weather and how overdone it is.
No, it's great when you do it.
No.
We'll take a stab at it and see.
Hey, there's still people I love to hear sing Summertime, so don't ever.
Well, it's just I do feel optimistic, but I also feel like it is a good time to sing the blues. I miss a lot of people, so
yeah.
Looking forward.
Don't know why there's no sun up in the sky. Stormy weather since my man and I ain't together. Keeps raining all the time. Life is bad, gloom and misery everywhere.
myself together. I'm weary all the time, so weary all the time. When he went away, the blues walked in and met me. If he stays away, old rocking chair's gonna get me. All I do is pray, Lord above will let me walk in the sun once more. Can't go on. Everything I have is gone. Stormy weather since my man and I ain't together. Keeps raining all the time. Keeps raining all the time. I walk around heavy-hearted and sad. Night comes along and I'm still feeling bad. Rain pouring down, blinding every hope I had. This pittering, pattering, beating and splattering's driving me mad. Love, love, love. This misery is just too much for me. Can't go on. Everything I have is gone. Stormy weather since my man and I ain't together. Keeps raining all the time. Keeps raining all the time. Keeps raining all the
Very nice, Nina. Wow.
I told you.
I know that, of course, not taking away anything from the voice, but all of a sudden I was paying attention to the dramatics of it. That was great. That was great.
Yeah.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
All right. So Nina, where can
Thank you guys so
people
much.
where can people find you? I mean, I don't mean like at home. I mean,
Yeah.
Don't give out your address.
Yeah. My socials on Instagram are I am Nina Herzog, Herzog. And I also have a Facebook, Nina Herzog, an artist page there. And on Spotify, Nina Herzog as well. There'll be new music coming out there soon.
that's great.
Great.
Well,
Yeah.
we would love to have you come down to Campus JAX some night soon. So we'll try
Please.
to
We'd
try to
love
work that
too.
out. And
Yeah,
you guys,
We
this
got-
live music. It's great you guys are doing some still.
yeah.
It gives me hope.
Well, and Jack and Balam, thank you guys for being with us.
Thank you
today.
so much, guys. You sound
Yeah,
great. We
great.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
You want to tell us what we're going out on a video?
Right.
Let's see.
It's called.
Let me see.
Stitches.
Yeah,
right?
this next video you're seeing is Jack Lipson on piano and his brother Benny. They go by Jack and Benny Lipson.
Nice.
They have a duo. But three of us singing Stitches, which is a top 40 song that Jack did an arrangement of.
Very nice.
So I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you, Nina, for being with us.
What a pleasure to meet you. Thank you, guys.
Nice to meet you.
We'll see you.
All right. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.
I thought that I'd been hurt before, but no one's ever left me quite this sore. Your words cut deeper than a knife. Oh, I need someone to breathe me back to life. Got a feeling that I'm going under, but I know I'll make it out alive if I quit calling you my lover. Move on. You watch me bleed until I can't breathe. I'm shaking, falling onto my knees. And now that I'm without your kisses, I'll be needing stitches. I'm tripping over myself. I'm aching, begging you to come help. And now that I'm without your kisses, I'll be needing stitches. Just like a moth drawn to a flame. Oh, you lured me in, I couldn't sense the pain. Your bitter heart cold to the touch. I'm gonna reap what I sow. I'm left seeing red on my own. Got a feeling that I'm going under, but I know I'll make it out alive if I quit calling you my lover. Move on. You watch me bleed until I can't breathe. I'm
Hey, Tony.
Talented lady.
Wow.
I'm talking about her. Talking about her, not you, Terence.
Well, thank God. I've never been called a lady, maybe a broad or something like that, but never been called a lady.
I have a feeling, you would definitely be a broad.
Yeah. No, she's very talented, and like you were talking about, her ability to really tell the lyric, it really incredible. Well, listen, man, we've got a special artist coming up after Nick Mancini, and I haven't seen Nick for a while, and he was a regular at Steamers over the years, and I can't wait to hear about what's going on in his life today. But want to let you know we're going to do a little announcements of what we got coming up this Thursday. Tony, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's happening this Thursday?
This Thursday night, I'm bringing a group in that I've only been able to perform with it a few times, just a handful of times, and it's a group that I did to kind of pay homage to the West Coast jazz movement of the 1950s, which it's just this great laid back, it's you'll know the sound when you hear it, but it's also gave me a chance to write arrangements for 3 horns instead of the normal 2 that I do, or big band. Right. So writing for 3 horns, which is actually really challenging, more challenging than I expected it to be. And so it's just, we have a whole book of tunes that have been arranged in that style, and we'll talk more about the whole West Coast jazz movement after Nick is with us.
Yeah, but real quickly though, who's in the band?
Mark Vischer will be playing saxophone, Ryan Dragon on trombone, Dean Koba is on drums, David Miller is on bass, and Eric Dries is on piano.
Oh, beautiful, yeah. Great. Well, listen, you can buy tickets for that. We're selling tables or two-top or singles. If you want to come, go to campusjax.com. We do have limited seating as we want to stick with this socially distant bistro-style performance. If you've not been there, it's beautiful. You're in Newport Beach with the sea breeze going, and it's cool, and the sound and stage and the lights. It's top-notch. It's top-notch, and you can purchase tickets at campusjax.com. If you can't make it, for those people who are like in Oklahoma or whatever, you can always watch it streaming at facebook.com/Campus Jax or Jax Hideaway or YouTube, or Tony will have it on his, or I'll have it on my page too. And you can also help us with these broadcasts. This is our 25th broadcast on Thursday, and we've done about a dozen or so on Sundays too. And you can go there to steamersjax.com and throw a couple bucks or whatever in the tip jar and help us out. And also want to remind you that if at that tip jar, we do have a Steamers Jazz at Jax broadcast member that you can check out. If you want to really get involved and help us, we're trying to get this so people will be a whole part of this movement. We've been doing everything we can to perpetuate the jazz when everybody's been locked up here, and we could use your help in that. And let's see, anything else I need to touch on?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well, touch on something. This is a great band. Friday, September 18th, we have the first time we're doing a Steamers Jazz at Jax on a Friday night. It's a very, very special event outside, of course, with 6-time Grammy Award winner Gordon Goodwin, and bringing his little fat band on the stage with Wayne Bergeron on trumpet, Francisco Torres, Will Brahm on guitar, Kevin Axe, Ray Brinker, Joey De Leon, Brian Scanlon, Gordon Goodwin, and Vanjie Gunn will be there. Tickets are very limited, and they will sell out. Every time Gordon brings his big fat or little fat band anywhere, it sells out. So make sure you check it out. That's Friday, September 18th. Go to campusjax.com. And I think we're going into a Nick Mancini video. We're
going to watch a little video of Nick, I believe.
Right.
Before.
I believe I should.
I lost what just happened.
I don't know what happened, but I'm looking forward to it. So let's hear it, and then we'll bring Nick in.
3 and 4.
vibraphonist, marimba, and composer Nick Mancini began his professional career as a drummer at the age of 15. He studied at the Crane School of Music and then moved to New York City, where he attended Manhattan School of Music. His audition won him the prestigious President's Award Scholarship, and he graduated with a master's degree in jazz performance. For the following 8 years or so, Nick continued honing his craft while cutting his teeth at live gigs all around New York City, but then found his true home in Los Angeles, where he relocated in 2006. He was celebrated as the honoree of the 18th annual Los Angeles Jazz Vibe Summit. Later on, Drum Magazine's reader poll named him the best jazz percussionist. Nick has performed and recorded with such diverse luminaries as Arturo Sandoval, Peter Erskine, Poncho Sanchez, Kenny Werner, and Jennifer Holliday. A victim of some dysfunctional learning scenarios, Mancini has become passionate about education. In 2011, he was invited to join the jazz and percussion faculty at the Bob Cole Conservatory of Music at Cal State Long Beach and is jazz faculty member at CSU Northridge. He serves a recurring faculty post for the Thelonious Monk Institute, a highly competitive postgraduate program for up-and-coming jazz musicians, all the while maintaining a busy home-based teaching studio for one-on-one study at the art of jazz. Steamers Jazz at Campus JAX is proud to welcome our friend, Nick Mancini.
Welcome, Nick Mancini.
And how are you, my friend? It's been a while, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. Years, many years.
Yeah.
I know.
Let's just jump right to it. Where are you phoning in from?
My garage in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Wow. All I know is that people were shocked you were moving there. Not shocked. I mean, people were just surprised that you were moving because everybody just loves having you in LA.
Oh, that's exactly.
And why don't you just tell us a little bit about what's behind the move? And I have family out in that area too, so I love going out there. And I used to play the Oklahoma Jazz Festival, the Jazz in June Festival, every year or every couple of years until I married somebody from Oklahoma, and then they don't have me back. I'm not sure what that's about.
Great. So did I just completely destroy my career?
Right. Yeah. So what took you out to Tulsa?
Well, my wife is from Tulsa originally. It was always a kind of a thing that was on the long distance radar that we would move here. It's nice, of course, lovely being close to family. Right. And of course it's that much closer to my family, all of whom are still up in upstate New York.
Right.
But now we have this baby who's going on 11 months. And she gets to grow up with her cousin Rio, who's 7 years old and loves having her around. She gets to see Granny all the time. And it's really lovely. I mean, and I come from a huge family, and I've always had family up my butt my whole life. And so it's nice to have people around,
Right.
We can help each other out. So that's been a really beautiful thing. So anyway, it was something that was that we were eventually going to do. And the idea would be that probably I would maintain a place out in LA that I could fly out to. But that was like 20 years from now. We were thinking about doing that. And I could tell that Afton, this was before the quarantine happened now, I could tell that Afton was sort of getting a little bit kind of anxious. Like, I could just tell that she wanted to be out here. Mm-hmm. And I said to her, look, and this was in February, so you can blame the quarantine on me. I said to her, look, I'll move to Tulsa the day that all the gigs in LA dry up. I swear to you, I said that to her in February. I mean, I said that to her a couple times, but then the last time that I recall saying it to her was in February, and then I played my last gig on March 13th, and that was it.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, Nick.
Yeah, sorry about that, the world. Sorry, world.
So in reality, though, how much influence was this quarantine as a catalyst to you finally doing it, or did it in any way kind of prevent it or put obstacles in the way, or tell me about that?
Yeah, it was
your headspace?
Right, sure. My headspace was I was getting sick and tired of spending way too much money on a 2x0 box with no outdoor space that we could call our own, just to sit and wait and wonder whether or not things were going to come back to normal. Right. And I was watching all this money that we had, and not all this money, but we had done a really good job of getting our finances together and started putting money away. We were saving up. We were going to start, our Roth IRAs and really get our life on track. And then next thing I know, I'm just like blowing all of my savings on car payments and insanely high car insurance. And our rent was like, whatever, it's LA. Right. And for the privilege of sitting in the 2x0 box and watching my baby crawl around in circles, she wasn't even really crawling at that point in time, but you get the idea. And we have 3 cats, and it was just kind of like, once we got into the second month of this thing, and it just didn't look like anything was happening, and I was getting in touch with people all around the world, and everybody had the same stories. I just said, this is ridiculous. We're wasting money. It's just we're just wasting money. And also, it's not like we could even go see friends. We couldn't even go see friends. Sitting in a car and yelling across the street at a person while they're in a driveway, saying, "Hey, how you doing?" While they're drinking coffee and I'm drinking coffee. That's not a hang, Right. So anyway, one night she just she opened up Zillow and she said, "I wonder how much houses are going for rent in my parents' and sisters' neighborhood." And they live kind of in adjacent neighborhoods. And once we saw the prices, I literally was like, let's move before the end of April. And she was like, it's going to take a little bit of time to get this thing together. Right. But we ended up landing a 3-bedroom, newly renovated house with a garage and a backyard, and the entire lot that we rent, front yard, backyard, and house, is probably the same footprint as the whole complex that we were living in, that housed, 35, 40 some people.
Right. Wow.
And just a little disclaimer. We're paying $1,200 a month.
Yeah. Wow. That's great.
It's amazing. And so, we're back to saving up money now. And, and I'm actually equally as active as I was. I'm more active than I was when I was in LA, because when I was in LA, I didn't have a space where I could set up and play. I could, when the baby's sleeping, she's on the complete opposite side of the house. So she takes a nap. I got 2 hours to come into the garage and get some recording work done and stuff like that. She goes to bed early and I can come in and play. So I wasn't able to do that in our bungalow because she slept here and the vibes were here. So I just took the vibes down. I just screw it. Let's have the square footage, because I'm not able to play anyway. And plus, you can't practice when you got someone sitting on the couch right behind you. I can't anyway.
Yeah.
So I was not doing anything. I mean, I was contemplating driving to parking garages just to get some practice.
Yeah.
Right.
Ridiculous.
So what about your comfort or anxiety level? I mean, typically, you would think there'd be a high anxiety level upping and moving somewhere and going like that, but, we're also talking about going from a stressful area, kind of metropolis, to a much smaller, slower pace thing. How have you adjusted to this?
A much healthier pace, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man, it's great. I love it. I'm like, my wife says she sees it in my face, it's like, I'm like relaxed and calm, and I'm just like, we're raising a child, and it's beautiful. And I come out to the garage and I work on the stuff that I want to work on. And, music is about making music again.
Right.
And I think I needed a little refresher course in that, so my anxiety level is way down. Now, the transition was incredibly anxious because I've told a bunch of people this story, but I'll retell it anyway. Just real quick. I drove back and forth to Tulsa 1.5 times. So we made the decision to make the move. It's not cheap moving across country, period. And we had we didn't really have that much stuff, but it is just not cheap. No matter what we priced, it was like going to be 5 figures to move. And then finally one night it went off in my head. I was like, I bet we could do this. And so what we did was we rented an RV, because our baby is still young enough that she's still breastfeeding.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if she was in a car seat, we'd have to pull over every hour to do the thing, you know what I mean? And so and we have these 3 cats, and I did not want to put cats in carriers for 28 hours or more, 3 days really. So my sister said, "Oh, you should rent an RV." Our friend rents an RV every single year, and they take a little trip, and they have their dogs, and so I was like, "Huh, that's brilliant." So we rented an RV, and we towed a 12-foot U-Haul trailer. So I drove that out here. And then the RV was a round trip rental only because they're not flying to pick up RVs. Right. So I had to drive the RV back to LA and then drop off the RV Monday morning. Tuesday morning, went to a U-Haul place. I did this with my brother-in-law, who was kind enough to go with me. Went to a U-Haul place, rented a 10-foot truck and the dolly, drove back to my place, loaded up the 10-foot truck, put my car on the dolly, and set out for Tulsa again.
Wow.
So I left LA on May 18th, and I got back like the first day of June or something like that. Like I was just on the road.
So,
constantly.
So now you've quit the vibes and become a commercial driver.
Yeah. So if anybody needs anything moved, whatever, I do long distance. It's no problem.
Mancini moving.
That's right. Charged by the mile.
It's just great.
My wife's family is from Oklahoma, and actually almost every time I see them, they're here or we go out there for a family trip, but they always want to go to like the Ozarks or somewhere else. So I haven't actually been to Oklahoma for many years now because I went when we first met, when I first got engaged. But now every trip we do to see them is somewhere else because they do rent a lake house somewhere else. And
right.
But I was serious. I used to play the Jazz in June festival all the time. I made some great friends in Oklahoma, some that became roommates out here in LA, and I have a good history with that state. And it's a great place. And
I really do love it.
Chet Baker's from there, right?
Is he? I didn't know that.
I believe he is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oklahoma.
Yeah. Woody Guthrie is from Okemah, Oklahoma, which is just about an hour south of here, and it's beautiful. I mean, Tulsa's a great city. I'll be honest with you right now. Tulsa is a great city. It's a little over an hour away from Oklahoma City, which is slightly larger, but Tulsa has 500,000 people, near 500,000. Yeah. You don't think of it as being that large of a city. Yeah. It's ever expanding, and it's hip. It's like they've got great restaurants. They've got a couple of really nice clubs that have live jazz.
Yeah. Now they have Nick Mancini there.
And now they got me, baby.
Yeah, man.
Whatever that means. I mean, I'm sitting in my garage, but
we'd love to hear you play a song or two, but I wanted to make one mention. You had said something that kind of sparked something when you were saying you're in this little box in LA, and the truth be said, with the exception of we've been doing these live jazz series at Campus JAX in the parking lot now for 14 weeks or so. Other than that, I really am like in a box, unless I'm on something like here. So it's not like you were giving up any big thing. You weren't going and meeting your friends for coffee all the time in LA, and there you go.
There was nothing happening. That's what I figured. I was like, if my life is going to be centered around my home, then, and Terence, I like a good cigar.
Oh, yes.
You and I have had a couple of cigars.
Many.
I had nowhere to go to smoke a cigar. And
Yeah.
that was the biggest travesty. I just thought, if I could just go out in my backyard. And so now I've got this chimenea out in the backyard, and I get some pinyon wood going, and I sit with a cigar after the baby goes to bed, and the tree frogs and the crickets. It's gorgeous, man. It's amazing. Of course there will be a winter, and winter here is it's a bear. Winter can be a bear. There's not much snow, but it's definitely cold and wet, But that's okay. Whatever. I'm from upstate New York.
It's not that big of a deal.
I go out and it's like people wear scarves when it gets 60 degrees in LA. I'm out in my shirt sleeves when it's 40 degrees. So I'm, not to say that I'm not going to feel it after 15 years in Los Angeles, but it's a great town, and it's got it's kind of like big city meets small town, really, because on my street a car goes by once every 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
It took me. I did a little concert last night, a beautiful outdoor concert. Nice. It's something that's now beginning to evolve a lot.
Yeah.
And and I was like getting all like stressed out. I went right into mode. I could put my stuff in the car, and Ashton was like, "Honey, it's gonna take you like 12 minutes to get there." Oh, right. Oh, that's right. It's just right up the road. I just have to get on horseback. Once you get on the road, once you get on the road, you just drive to the place. There's not like all this like,
Right.
I mean, I call up Waze and there's like, it's just like a one turn and a blue line that goes up, and then boom, I'm there. Brilliant.
Well,
I love it.
Man, I'm excited for you. That sounds great. I just love seeing that.
Yeah, thank you.
You gonna do a little something for us, maybe?
Sure. Yeah. I worked up a Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and I got something here.
I expected a country tune, but
yes.
Oh man, I should have done a Roger Miller. That would have been
right.
No, just a couple of jazz standards. Here you go.
Ain't got no cigarettes.
Yeah, I love that one.
Oh man.
Wow. Wow, do I miss your sound, man. I miss your sound. Oh,
thanks, man.
That was Some Other Time. I don't know if we announced the title of that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some Other Time. Yeah, I thought it was, the words are kind of fitting for this.
Beautiful song.
For this time, you know?
Fabulous.
Yeah, so great to hear you.
We'll catch up some other time.
God. I don't know what to say after that.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but right in the middle of when I was trying to expound upon the melody, a moth landed right in the middle of the vibraphone. And I was like, oh dear. I don't kill anything if I don't have to. That was pretty rough.
Wow.
Is that when you changed keys?
Yeah, exactly.
Made you change keys?
Yes.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I'll just go to D flat here.
Time to modulate, you know? Oh, my God.
Well, you just sat down, but I heard you say you had 2 songs. Can we get before we have to
We're not letting you off that easy.
Yeah, sure. I got to think of what I'm going to play. Hang on a second.
Something else, huh? Wow.
How about Moonlight in Vermont?
Love it.
Love it.
Been a while since I played it.
Wow, man, that was so great.
I forgot to turn this over, so you probably lost some stereo.
No, it sounded great. It sounded great. Man, that's so beautiful.
You know, go ahead.
I gotta tell you, it's. I was gonna say, like, that's an instrument I forget sometimes until you watch somebody play it.
Yeah.
How it's so fascinating to watch you play that instrument. Like, it's musically, it's just gorgeous and beautiful, but then the physicality of that instrument is it's so great to watch. It just.
Well, you know, for me, what it is that, you know, the eyes say, look at that virtuosity, but then the ears are just going,
yeah,
what I'm hearing, you know, essentially just four
notes at once. I was thinking of that too, because like I said earlier, just for some reason, it's way easier for me to arrange for 4 horns than for 3. And this book for Thursday is all 3 horns. But I was noticing that they're thinking, yeah, that's just 4 notes at a time for him.
4 notes,
that's the most.
Well, yeah, and then of course the other one of the other major, I don't want to call it a setback, but is that the lowest note is only F below middle C.
Right.
Yeah.
So for a lot of these, for a lot of, like, you know, and I'm doing a basic spontaneous arrangement of the tune.
Right.
I'll all of a sudden realize, like, oh, I really need that note that's like located just below where the instrument ends, you know?
Right.
And
do you play piano also? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, you're a drummer. Yeah.
Originally, I'm a drummer.
Yeah.
No, I played drums, but then when I went to college, you know, everybody's got to take keyboard tech, you know?
Right.
And there was a point in time when I was practicing more piano than I was practicing.
Interesting, yeah.
But also, when I first started college, I wasn't a vibes player. I was just like generalized percussion. And none of those.
You were a dance major, from what I
was a dance major, exactly, right. And then I went into culinary arts, and then I thought, hey, you know what?
What I want to know is what happens when like a moth lands on your vibe. You know, what do you do?
I mean, I guess most people would just smack it, but then I got to clean up moth residue off of my bars.
Right. Hey, Nick, it's been great seeing you and connecting with you again, man. What a treat and pleasure to have you play just now, and so good to talk to you again.
Thank you.
Please, you know, on when this thing, you know, whenever you're on this side or whatever, let us know way in advance. You know, we got to have you at Campus JAX, you know.
Oh, man, I would love that. I would love
a reunion, you know.
That'd be
reunion. Great. I have to tell you, I'm very, very touched. I'm very touched right now. Just hearing you and seeing you again and seeing that you're doing well and you're happy. Yeah. God bless you, man. That's fantastic, man.
And please say hi to Afton. I don't know if she'll remember me from 8 years ago when we filmed that, but please.
No, when I said I'm doing a thing with Tony Guerrero, and she was like, "Oh yeah, trumpet player," and I said, "Yeah." And Terence left. She goes, "Some steamers," and I was like, "What have you been a jazz musician for 15 years in LA?" I don't know. She's good with names. Remember?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you for being with us.
Now wait a second.
Oh,
we're gonna do an out, and you're doing half and half, I believe, right?
Oh yeah, right. Okay, so this is from my latest project that I'm hoping to release soon. I got just absolutely obsessed with the choro form from Brazil, which is a sort of like Bach influenced music that found its way into also samba influence as well. That's my really terrible explanation of it, but anyway. I started writing a bunch of them, and actually that's how I was practicing piano, was through writing these pieces. So at first it was really just like to get my piano chops together, and then I was like, hey, maybe I should start writing these things. And so then I started arranging them for the 7-piece group, which is sort of like a smaller portion of my 9-piece collective, and it features 3 percussionists, Scott Bredman, Pete Corpola, and James Yoshizawa, and then the regular bass player in the group is Jake Leckie. He's on the record, but this video will feature Cooper Appelt, who also is a great bass player, and he plays in my 9-piece collective. And then Katis Buckingham on flute and John Tegmeyer on clarinet, and those 2 guys are just like on a completely planet. I mean, they're nuts. So I started writing these pieces. I got 9 of them written. We've got 4 of them recorded. We got to do the other 5. It takes time because everybody's recording their part in their own home. But it's sounding really good. So this is actually taken from a concert that we played. This is the last concert that we played as a group at the Fireside Concert Series at the Miles Playhouse in Santa Monica.
Oh, cool!
Which is a beautiful place to play, but I think they've decommissioned it now. Unfortunately, since January they decommissioned it. But anyway, this was done I think on January 10th. And a little shout out to Justin Yaffe, who booked me there every single year for that Fireside series. And we got a chance to do this little thing. So we did a set of this, and then we did a set of the collective afterward.
Beautiful.
This is the Choro group. So keep your eyes open for that project, which will hopefully be released soon.
Great.
Nick, man, what a pleasure. So great to see you. Great to hear you, man. Thank you for doing this for us, man.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks a lot.
I appreciate it. We'll
see you
talk
soon.
to you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Tony Guerrero. Wow.
Yes, sir.
Man,
So,
Nick Mancini.
Great, right?
What incredible, man. So what's going on Thursday, man?
Well, you just saw a promo for what we're doing Thursday night. Thursday is a band that a little bit of a labor of love. I guess all my bands are a labor of love, but this was one that I put together just to play a certain style of jazz that I really love and didn't get a chance to do much. And that's what's known as the West Coast jazz movement from the 1950s, which, really it's not as narrow as it's often perceived, but it did have a certain laid back kind of, I hesitate to say this term, but almost for the era of 1950s, it was kind of smooth jazz. Like it was, pull the top down on the convertible, cruise down PCH, head to the beach, kind of like laid back jazz for the time.
Well, New York bop guys would say that,
Yeah, New York bop guys would say that. But, the players on the West Coast that were kind of living this life, this laid back, beach life out here, just really took it to heart and brought it into their music, and it started to affect the players were all amazing, but this music just started to coalesce into this very particular vibe that came out of the birth of the cool movement from Miles.
Right.
And, and the players of that era are all well known, but Chet Baker was a big one. Jerry Mulligan, Jack Sheldon, of course, Art Pepper, so many great, and so much Perkins, so much of it, Sheldon. So much of it took place at a legendary jazz club that is still around and still presenting music. It's called the Lighthouse in Hermosa Beach. And there was Howard Rumsey, who was a bass player, had a group there called the Lighthouse All-Stars that was really it was sort of the centerpiece of this movement. And, we, as a kid growing up in Orange County and LA area, like on the West Coast here during the 80s, coming up in the jazz clubs and stuff, I got to meet a lot of these guys who were part of that scene back then. In particular, Max Bennett, the bass player, was a big part of that. He was known more for his recording work, but on his, when the sessions were done, he would go and be playing at the Lighthouse and hanging with all these guys, and he had so many great stories to tell me about that. And I have a really great story. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, I had the honor, and being a pseudo alto sax player, guys like Art Pepper were always in my heart. And I got to go to the Lighthouse, and I got to go to Concerts by the Sea, which is
another one. Yeah.
Which is Howard's other place that he ran many times. And when I finally opened Steamers, I was honored because Howard came out, and at the time he was probably late 60s or so, and he came out and he just saw that I was doing it 7 nights a week, and Chuck Niles was there all the time, at least once a week, and he just attached. He says, "You know what? You're doing it right. Keep the straight ahead. Do it every day. It's going to be tough, but if you just keep doing this music, you'll do." And he was a great supporter of mine. I was there for his 90th birthday. I did the photography for all the people there. Nice. And, I got to be very close to him over the years, always a great supporter. And, so I have a really close connection to the music.
Yeah. He did come to one of my shows, probably when he was closer to 90. And I got a chance to meet him there. And it was just a sweet man, and obviously very important to the music.
Oh,
and a central figure and all that. One of the other guys that we didn't mention just now that was a huge part of that movement was Shorty Rogers.
Right.
Who I just adore as a player and as a writer. But his writing was so great. And I have a story about him that I love that I got to experience because I don't know if you ever, Terence, went to Cafe Lido. Were you around for that?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so Joe Speranza was an early supporter of mine. He was the owner of Cafe Lido. And when I was just like 17 years old, he would let me into Cafe Lido, sneak me in the back, even though I wasn't.
I was 50 at that time.
Yeah, right. And even though I wasn't allowed to be in a bar at the time, he knew my interest in the music, and he would sneak me in. And he was a flugelhorn player himself, and grew up with Chuck Mangione. So there was a lot of like connection and between me and him. And he was a tough Italian guy, but also a sweetheart and a big part of my early history and a big supporter of mine. And in fact, and I'm totally getting off topic, but earlier, okay. I thought of this story earlier, this other story, because when we were talking about our first Friday night steamers at JAX that we're doing coming up, I have a story where Joe Speranza gave me Friday and Saturday nights at Cafe Lido, and that was a big deal. I was maybe 20 years old, and he gave me those nights. And I remember thinking, I'm just on top of the world. Like, he gave me the best nights of the week. And I remember being in there once with him on a Friday night, and it was packed. And I was all feeling, pretty good about myself. And I said, hey, Joe, it looks like a pretty full room tonight. And he goes, any jackass can fill a room on a Friday night.
That's great. Well, and I won't take away from that, but talking about another great trumpet player, Jack Sheldon played at Steamers for 20 years.
That's where I saw him,
once a month. And, as a matter of fact, when they did the re-release at Capitol Records of the Pacific Jazz album, I forgot when that was. It might have been about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
He and Bill Perkins, they invited me to go to the recording of it. Right. So I got to sit in there with all of these great guys.
Oh, that's so great.
Oh, and it's legendary stuff, man.
I'm walking 3 feet behind my computer. I'm going to grab something to show you.
Please do. You've got it. I can tell you.
I don't know if you know that, or many people know that Jack Sheldon, a lot of people, the general public would know him mostly from two things. He was the voice of Schoolhouse Rock, those cartoons, or for a lot of those. And, so like, I'm Only a Bill. That's a big one.
Run.
And then that, and he was also a regular member of the Merv Griffin Show, and Merv often featured him, and he was quite a personality. But he also did a lot of acting, and in the late '60s had his own TV show, it was, I guess, a sitcom. That was it wasn't like a talk show or a music show. It was him acting, and it was a show called Run Buddy Run.
Run Buddy Run.
And as you know, I do some vintage shopping.
Yeah.
And about a couple of years ago or so, I found this piece, which I knew about the show, but I didn't know this existed. But it's a comic book of Run Buddy Run. And you open it up, and it's a whole adventure with Jack Sheldon in comic book form.
Oh my God, isn't that great?
Yeah. And so shortly before he died, I was able to present this to him, and he signed it. And he was very ill at the time, but he was gracious enough to sign it. And you can see that at the bottom there.
Wow.
Yeah, very, very sweet moment. And
I don't know if you know, but he was also on Dragnet.
That's right. Yeah, he was.
He was on Dragnet. I mean, crazy, man.
And just every musician of a certain age in LA has a Jack Sheldon story. At least one. I mean, and he told the best jokes, and I'm pretty sure almost every time Matt Johnson gets a laugh on stage with my band, it's something he stole from Jack Sheldon.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The first time Jack played at Steamers, and I knew him very well, and I thought, well, what is he going to do here for this crowd? And of course, it was the line out the door, and one of the waitress walks by with a tray, and as she walks by the stage, he goes, that reminds me, I need to bring 2 quarts of milk home. Of course, the whole place.
Yeah. Not an act you take your kids to.
No, you don't take your kids to.
All right, so I'm going to tell you my Shorty Rogers story. So back to Joe Speranza at Cafe Lido. So I found out one night that he had booked. Shorty had decided to start playing again. And I don't know if he had really been off that long. He got into a lot of composing and television work, and so he didn't play as much. And I heard that he had gotten booked at Cafe Lido, and unfortunately, it was a night that I had to be up in like Ventura County for something. I had another gig, so I was so disappointed I was going to miss it. And then I realized that if I got off stage at my other gig right at a certain time and got in my car, I might make it down for the last song. Like, it was going to be that close for me, right? And so I I told Joe, I can't be there that night, but I'm going to do everything I can to get there by the end of the night, and at least hear a note or two.
Yeah.
And so I pulled up to Cafe Lido. I did that. I got, I ran off stage, drove the whatever it was, 2.5 hours to get back down to Cafe Lido in Newport Beach, pulled up to the club. And as I'm walking up to and this was at the newer Cafe Lido. Remember, there used to be an old one.
Right. Yeah.
And as I'm walking up those stairs, Shorty Rogers is at the front door. And he's greeting me. And he says, as I walk, we never met. As I walk up, Tony, you made it. And I walked up and he gave me a big hug. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, this guy doesn't know me, And Joe had taken him aside and said, there's this young guy that, he plays here. And he's like so excited to come see you. He's trying to get down here. And, I don't know if their set got extended, but he was still on a break and he waited outside for me. And so this is a picture just taken moments after that. So that's me and Shorty Rogers in Cafe Lido. Yeah, I was so excited. What a sweet man to do that, and just
and thank Joe too for that. That's really cool.
But
so
I left. I didn't bother to stay to hear him though. I left.
I can't wait to hear your set list though.
Well, here's the thing. This band is it's for all intents and purposes, it's an original band in that we're not doing transcriptions from the old guys. I just took a bunch of songs I love, standards, and a few originals, but arranged them in that style. So these are all brand new arrangements just for this band, and these are all featuring three horns, and that's what it is. It's a good book of a lot of good tunes, and we've always been well received when we've played, and it's a great band. If you're into that style of music, I hope that you'll come and consider joining us. And
that's 7:00 this Thursday.
Yeah, I'm going to mention one other thing, and two things actually. I have two kind of rare West Coast albums here. One is this one from Max Ben. A lot of people don't know that his first solo albums were back in the 50s, and he did this. Check out the players. He had Charlie Mariano, Frank Rosalino, Carl Fontana, Dave McKenna, Mel Lewis, Stan Levy, Helen Carr, all these great West Coast players. Wow. And then this one, which we've talked about Susan down at the Festival of Arts before, how we need to have her down. I didn't realize this had happened, but this is the Lighthouse. This is Howard Ramsey's Lighthouse All-Stars, plus other West Coast stars, Lighthouse at Laguna, which took place at the Festival of Arts in the Irvine Bowl, where they do the pageant of the Masters. This concert took place in 1955.
Wow, Hampton Hawes. Wow,
yeah.
Shelly Man,
Barney Kessel.
I thought you were going to say that's Susan on the front.
What's that? Yes, Susan on the front.
Okay,
anyway,
so
we're running out of time. I was going to play a little bit of those for you, but we're running out of time, and we've got to call it a night. But
so Thursday, 7:00.
Thursday night, 7:00.
You can get tickets at campusjax.com. Come see Tony live. It's going to be a great show.
I won't be wearing a tie, by the way.
That's all right. That's okay. I won't be there to take a picture of it. And you can also help us out here by going to steamersjax.com and put a little something in our tip jar. Are we going to be coming back, Tony? Or
I think this
is
it. Not sure. I think we're going to go out with a video from the band from the Festival of Arts a couple years back, maybe 3 years ago. Is some. Oh, actually, so just what you're going to see now is the very first night I debuted this band was at the Lighthouse, because I had this gig. That sort of prompted me to do it, as I booked a night there, and I thought, I'm going to put that band together I always thought about doing. It's unfortunately on this video, it's totally different players. The band kind of progressed into the players that I'm bringing on Thursday, and this is the regular band now. But this video is the first time we ever did it, and this is at the Lighthouse. And I don't know how much of it we're going to show, but anyways, I hope you'll join us on Thursday. Terence, goodbye.
I love you, my friend. Thanks.
You. See you soon. All right. That was a marathon one. We packed a lot in there.